Hello, welcome to the newest edition of the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Ian Goldsmith. Every episode is geared towards highlighting the extensive arts and entertainment of the Cedar Valley. In this episode, I captured the fun of the Cedar Valley Trails Festival. We take a look at one of the most unique instruments of Cedar Falls. We see what goes on backstage at Gallagher Blue Dorn, and we close with a preview of the soon approaching Artapalooza. All of this starts right now on the Arts Overlook.
Art is thriving in the Cedar Valley. It's everywhere. But if you don't know where to look, you could miss it. This is your local arts perspective. This is the Arts Overlook.
So, I was thinking to myself the other day, golly, Cedar Falls sure is beautiful, especially the parks and trails. I wish there was an entire weekend devoted to celebrating and highlighting this extensive trail system in the Cedar Falls, Waterloo area. A weekend where I could ride my bike all across the Cedar Valley, and play with my dog in the park, and ride at night on a glow-stick lit trail with my family. Then it occurred to me, duh, the Cedar Valley Trails Festival. So I grabbed my camera and headed over to this 18th annual celebration, hosted by Cedar Trails Partnership.
This is Cedar Trails Festival, and it's a celebration of our great trail system here in the metro area, Waterloo, Cedar Falls. And it's among the greatest trail systems in the country. We have 110 miles of paved trails in the county, and it's really pretty amazing. A lot of looped trails that you can ride your bikes out on, or jog or walk. It's a great outdoor recreational facility for us.
The festival runs from Thursday through Sunday, jam-packed with events for local trail goers. These events range from a bike loop around town, followed by a movie in the park on Friday night, a bicycle safety rodeo for families on Saturday, and a poker ride on Sunday. On Saturday morning, I was able to go to lovely Gateway Park to catch Pet Fest, as well as the start of the Tour de Valley ride.
5K9 run was great. It's been fantastic weather, and the Pet Fest is going very well here as well. At 10 o'clock, we have a Tour de Valley, which is sponsored by Shields, and that started off already, and again, it's a great day for biking. So they have a short 5-mile ride for family ride, and then they have a 25-mile for average riders, and then a 40-mile ride for experienced riders. And that'll be finishing here around noon or early afternoon. So that group is out and enjoying the great weather.
Perhaps the highlight event of the festival for most trail goers is Saturday evening's Light Up the Night Ride.
The night ride is spectacular. Probably our signature event, and it'll be great tonight with this weather. It'll be just fantastic. But it's about an 8.8 mile loop, and entirely lit with glow sticks actually along the trail to delineate the edge of the trail. Helmets and lights are required on the bicycles. We expect somewhere around 1,000 to 1,500 people to participate. We have the Fat Cat Band will be coming to play during the early evening while people are doing the bike rodeo, as well as getting ready for the night ride. If people have not done that before, if you're doing a bicycle activity, it's one of the more spectacular things you'll ever do. Where you have that canopy of trails, or canopy of trees, and you're just riding through a tunnel of light there. So it's an amazing event.
How and why did a festival this large get started?
The Cedar Trails Partnership is an organization that we're here for the advocacy and promotion of the trails. And it started, they actually formed about 19 years ago. Individually, Bob Morgan and several other people in the community thought it would be something we really need to do to promote the start of our trail system. And as the trail system's grown, the partnership has been able to be involved with that, and it's been a tremendous opportunity, and we're pretty unique. I don't think there are very many communities in the country that really have an advocacy group like we have. This is the 18th annual festival, and it's always been the second weekend in August. Next year we are switching it to June, be earlier in the biking season, and probably add some water events to it. We're combining it with the State Trail Summit, and we'll have the State Trail Summit / Cedar Trails Festival. And we expect it to be much bigger and much better than what it has been. So it'll be great. Great family weekend. It's Father's Day weekend, we expect a lot of families to be able to come and partake in the festival next year.
I think it's safe to say that trail goers of the Cedar Valley are already looking forward to next year. For Cedar Falls Community Television, I'm Ian Goldsmith. Thank you to all the organizers and participants in the Trails Festival for allowing me to capture some beautiful shots with my camera. I can't wait to see next year's festival become even bigger and better. School has started again at the University of Northern Iowa. For me, this is the first time in 5 years that I'm not going back to school with all the other Panther students. I tell you what, I'm definitely not missing class schedules and homework. One thing I am missing, however, is the beautiful music heard occasionally from the Campanile. Tim Getting gives us an inside look at one of the most incredible instruments in the Cedar Valley.
The University of Northern Iowa's Campanile stands tall at the center of campus, gracing iconic photographs, bringing luck to hormone-filled co-eds on homecoming, and even occasionally providing the time to someone passing by. This structure serves as a symbol for the university, but is also home to a rare and interesting feature that many students and community members may have heard but never seen.
Well, nationwide there are little less than 200 carillons, and probably 50 universities have carillons. And if you go further west, there are several states that don't even have carillons, Washington State being one, Idaho. I believe Nevada does not, New Mexico doesn't, so it's unique.
The Campanile's carillon was installed over 85 years ago in 1926. Then, just 15 bells were played by the instrument. Today, there are 47 bells weighing a total of 12.5 tons ringing away at the top of the tower. But despite the vastness and uniqueness of the carillon, it works a lot like an instrument you may see every day.
Okay, this is called a keyboard because anything that you're touching with your fingers, a computer has a keyboard, piano has a keyboard, carillon has a keyboard. These are like the white keys on a piano, and these, the upper row, are like the black keys on a piano. On a piano, you push a key down and the hammer strikes the wires. On the carillon, you push a key down and the hammer strikes the side of the bell. So it's a very straightforward, simple connection between the two.
While the carillon works and looks in many ways like a piano, playing the instrument poses some different challenges.
Well, most people think because you're making big movements with your hands and with your feet that's the most difficult part of it. But, you know, and when you're playing the piano and you're playing fast, you're doing this also. That action is kind of transferred to the carillon. The bigger challenge is not so much that you're depressing keys that are moving, you know, a couple of inches. The bigger challenge is to try and get something really musical out of what you're doing so that people that are outside can, in fact, hear and understand what it is you're doing. That's the biggest challenge. And then playing at a different place all the time, you have to adjust your ear to what you're hearing.
Another challenge associated with the carillon is actually finding one. But if you're good enough, like guest artist Carl Kelderman's, that challenge can become a blessing and that it creates travel opportunities.
The interesting thing about playing the carillon is that you get to travel to wherever the instruments are. So I have been fortunate in that I have been able to travel not all the way around the world, but a lot of places, Australia and all of Europe. Unless you have what's called a mobile carillon, the carillonneurs are one of the few musicians that have to go somewhere else to play on a particular instrument.
Keldermans is a past president of the Guild of Carillonneurs of North America. He has a master's degree in campanology and carillon performance and has studied at carillon schools overseas. Keldermans has been the carillonneur for the Reese Memorial Carillon in Springfield, Illinois for 36 years and has frequented UNI's carillon recently.
One of my good buddies was a guy named Bob Burns, who was a student here in the late 60s, graduated, went away for a year and came back and became the carillonneur. So Bob Burns was playing the carillon, came to Springfield in the late 70s for a playing competition and came in second. Since that time we were friends until he passed away from a stroke in 2004. But it's really just since Bob has passed away that I've kind of become the, I guess you would say, interim carillonneur.
So next time you're on UNI's campus and hear the bells ring in a melody, stop on up to see this gem of an instrument for yourself. For the Arts Overlook, I'm Tim Getting.
Thanks, Tim. I've actually gotten to go up into the Campanile several times myself, and I can say firsthand that it is an experience like none other. Along with the new UNI school year comes the start of a new season at the Gallagher Bluedorn Performing Arts Center. Many of us have seen the amazing shows on the GBPAC stage, but not many of us have seen what goes on behind stage to get ready for those shows. Mike Mennen takes us behind the scenes.
Gallagher Bluedorn Performing Arts Center, located on the University of Northern Iowa campus, is one of the premier performing arts centers in eastern Iowa and has hosted an array of entertainment since it has opened in 2000, ranging from legendary comedians like Bill Cosby and the late George Carlin, to iconic musicians like B.B. King, Bob Dylan, and this year Willie Nelson, to professional Broadway musicals like Cats, Mamma Mia, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, and The West Side Story. With these big productions coming to town, you would think they bring their own staff and crew. But if you would be at the Gallagher Bluedorn at 6 a.m. when these shows are loading in, you would be mistaken and realize that the staff and crew of these famous productions are assembled by none other than the students of UNI.
Well, for us it's a great opportunity to kind of extend their educational experience. Most of our students are not theatrical students, they're actually from all walks of the campus. But they come here and they've either done community plays or they've done high school stuff, and they kind of think it'd be a fun aspect to do an extension of that. And it's a fun way to make a little extra cash for them here as a job. But overall, we hire students to do production work like this because it's part of our mission. It's the only way this building will actually work.
Not just students majoring in theater are hired at the Gallagher Bluedorn.
Correct. Anyone that's basically, as long as they're a full-time student, they are eligible to work here. And like I say, we've got students from business, actuarial science, the theater department, biologies. We've got them from all walks of the campus.
The Gallagher Bluedorn receives anywhere from 20 to 30 shows in a single season, and they have to make sure the load-ins are completed in a precise and quick manner while maintaining a safe working environment for every member of the crew.
The important factors are safety, making sure that the crew is safe, making sure the gear is hung appropriately and in place, make sure that the cast and crew are doing what they need to do to stay safe. Two, we have a hard deadline. The deadline is top of show at 7:30 or at 7 or whatever that go time is. So, everyone says they have deadlines. Well, we have hard deadlines, and the fact that there are usually 1,600 people out here waiting for something to go on. And so we, work in both those realms, speed, efficiency, safety.
The Gallagher Bluedorn provides about 85% of the staff, and the production company brings in their people too, to make sure everything is completed in a timely fashion.
They all go into their specific areas, and the show provides one professional staff to go with each of the departments, and then our crew fills in and actually does the work. My audio crew, for example, they actually build the sound towers, they put the console in place, they do a lot of the wiring that requires it.
To make sure everything is coordinated correctly and kept safe, the Gallagher Blue Dorm provides at least 3 technical directors and multiple student supervisors to oversee every load-in.
During the load-in process, we kind of divide ourselves up into three groups to kind of watch over the group. Sandy kind of oversees the dock area and crew in and out, crew scheduling in and out. He keeps clipboards so we know what crew's in, what crew's out, so we can also keep a schedule. Chris typically works on, or Chris DeZika works with our electrics team, make sure that they get connected to our building. He also doubles as a rigger for us, so he's actually responsible for some of the heavy lifting that goes on upstairs. And then myself, I become a floater, basically keeping an extra set of eyes and ears on the deck, or on the stage, to make sure that the rigging is happening correctly, the fly rail is operating correctly, and that our crew is working effectively and efficiently. Student supervisors during a Broadway load-in like West Side Story, their roles really become what we call department heads. Typically they know a little more about the department they get put into, they know how the building works, so that's their role. When we have a smaller scale show in, student supervisors actually run the shows. They actually are in charge of making sure the audience is in their place, student is in their place, technology's in place, ready to go, and they actually run and call the show.
Thanks, Mike. If you want tickets or information about the current Gallagher Blue Dorn season, visit their website at gbpac.org. To close out this episode, Channel 15's Shelby Gappa gives us a quick preview of the upcoming event happening in downtown Cedar Falls, Artapalooza.
This is the 8th annual Artapalooza, which is a fine art show that takes place on the street and sidewalks of downtown Cedar Falls. Held annually, the juried show brings many talented artists from throughout the region. Between 45 and 50 artists get the chance to show off their beautiful artworks and sell them to the public. The artists are not the only ones, however, participating in the event.
The merchants are obviously all open during the day. The event runs from 9 to 4 p.m. and so people come down for the artists, but they also come down and they check out the stores. Many of the merchants actually put on children's activities for the little kids, and so they like that a lot, so that's very popular.
We always do a children's activity, and the past few years we've taken sugar cookies that we've painted. I had the children paint with watercolors, water or food coloring. This year we're doing something completely different. We're making kebabs that they can make and take with them. And we'll have all kinds of, we'll have some fruits and some marshmallows and fun things on the kebabs that they can take. And we probably offer, I think we've done up to 400 cookies in the past few years. So there will be a lot of children that will come through and have fun things to do downtown.
Also during the event, visitors can listen to local musicians at all street corners and see demonstrations of various artworks. Plain artists will dot the streets painting the event as it goes on throughout the day. There is a new activity happening this year.
We have a new activity this year that we're adding to Artapalooza. It's called Pastel a Panel. And basically what we're doing is we're taking a painting, I think it's by Georgia O'Keeffe, and we're cutting it down into little squares, and then we're giving a square to various people. It's open to anyone, I think, from middle school and up. So there's an age limit, but we're just letting them draw a little piece of the painting, and then we're going to put all of the pieces together when it's done.
Artapalooza brings in around 4,500 people in just one day to downtown Cedar Falls. Community Main Street will have even more events coming up this fall and winter for the Cedar Valley to take part in.
Thank you, Shelby. Arts Overlook will be providing a full recap of Artapalooza in our next episode. Until then, I'm Ian Goldsmith, and thank you for watching.